And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the SWBL Season 18 matchup between the SWBL Brewers and the SWBL Yankees. I am your host, Commissioner Sam Skibby, alongside my co-host and co-founder of the league, Brett Spencer. Brett, how you doing today?
I'm not going to talk like that.
Yeah, this is going to be the whole game.
You want to bet?
Oh, no. No, you don't want to bet. I bet he does, folks.
I am the voice of the Parkway North Vikings.
And we are doing very well today. Sam, you and I have become quite acquainted announcing live games here this week.
Yes, you know, Brett, it's been wonderful to get to know our voices on the live stream here, and what a wonderful opportunity to have some great wiffle ball. And I know COVID has kind of taken away from the fans and the music and everything, as Kyle Cornell takes a half hack on Jackson Crosley starting for the Yankees. Brett, why don't you go through the starting lineups for everybody here?
Well, we are going to see a little shakeup from the Brewers, I believe. And I'm not 100% sure because I was not paying attention to when they told Gus the lineup. So, what do you think it is?
Well, I can tell you that Kyle Cornell is leading off.
Oh, we do know that. And it looks like Peach is second.
Yes.
So I'm not sure what the shakeup Peter was referencing to is. Because I thought he was thinking of
Maybe a
dropping
shakeup
Peach,
from
but-
last game. I know they had that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice play by Jackson Crosley on the mound there.
So you got to assume it's Kyle, Peach, Pete, and then Derek Cornell as our extra hitter, as they usually have been.
Nice hit from PG there, and he is deciding to go too, and Yankees smartly throw it to the mound.
Yeah, that's a smart play by Jackson to get it in quickly.
And getting it to the pitcher's mound is underrated for sure. Oh, and ladies and gentlemen, speak of the devil, he is supposed to be announcing this game. I am Commissioner Sam Skibby, leaving you to Mr. Matt
like 5 minutes.
Germer. So Matt Germer, welcome to the booth.
Germer, have a seat. We were waiting on you. Sam did a great announcement and said where we're at with everything. This is just the top of the first, so you haven't missed much. Kyle got out and then Peach doubled. So that's where we're at. How's everything been going with you?
Very good. I made a sandwich earlier today and got some food in me for the big start of the day. Glad to be here as Pete lines one down the third baseline and goes just foul. Nice play by Poli there to let that one go foul.
Very smart, very smart.
Mm-hmm.
So the Yankees have, let's see, I think they've played a few. Actually, their last game today is our first game today. So I think they already have played 3, and they might be 2-1. Brewers have played 2 or 3 as well, and they just recently beat the Twins about 15-8. So.
Wow. Well, you gotta think that the Yankees may be warmed up already for that Expos game. Probably help them out.
I was wondering if it's an advantage or a disadvantage. Like you get warmed up, you get very warmed up. I get it, but then after 4 or 5 games today, you'd have to think they'd be a little bit tired at the end of the day.
Well, probably, but the Expos are pretty much always tired, so that will probably be helpful for the Yankees. So they won all their games today?
I think they have won all their games today so far. They played the Marlins. They played. I can't remember.
Oh,
Yeah.
As Derek, their extra hitter, pulled one into right field just under the pine tree for a 3-run homer.
that's the score.
That'll be top. That's top 1. That's 3-0 now.
3-0.
1 out. So the Yankees have some new new shorts.
Yes, I heard earlier you and Sam discussing that, and it has been confirmed that those are female pants. Is that correct?
It's speculation, but it's fair to say. At this
Okay.
point, it's fair to say. They're very tight, but they look great.
They do
the
look
Polies,
good.
The Polies are just, human specimens.
Looks like Poli may have made a headband with the lower half of his pants, is what it looks like.
I believe so.
Interesting. You gotta, much like the Native Americans where they would use every part of the animal, you gotta appreciate the Polis using every part of the pants to make their jerseys with.
That's franchise of the year stuff.
Very
if I've ever
creative.
seen it. It's as Peach check swings. Hopefully you can tell from back here. We're a little far away, but the behind the home plate is in the sun, so we decided to sit in the shade.
Oh. I'm following you.
So Jackson strikes out PG, and I think that ends 4-0. We go to the bottom of the first.
And Peter is taking the mound. Is that correct?
It looks like that's the shakeup I believe Peter was talking about. He is going to start because they have already seen PG this game. I'm not quite sure why they wouldn't put in Kyle to start. Kyle, any comment? Why aren't you pitching?
Against them 5 times last year. In a big playoffs, and they haven't seen me since last year.
Well, there you go. He gives an insight into the manager
Nice
mind of
in-game
Peter.
interview from Brett there.
Yeah, it's like, you talked to Fernando Tatis at shortstop the other night.
Correct. We have Kyle mic'd up in the outfield. We'll be tuning into him throughout the game to get his feelings on the way things are
We'll
developing.
check in with the players for sure and get their take on things. So it sounds like he faced the Yankees like a bunch of times last year, and then wants to be fresh for the playoffs if they face the Yankees in the playoffs, so they have not seen them.
You got to get there first, though. You got to get there first, and there's no guarantee that
They
the
are,
Brewers.
yeah, they are thinking ahead as Pete gives a lob ball and gets Poley at first. And Graham, let's talk about the Expos yesterday. What do you think? I mean,
Well,
what are our thoughts on how the first day went?
the first few games, pretty good. I mean, Braves they are defeated now, correct?
Yes,
lost the game.
they lost the Rockies this
I
morning.
mean, the Expos only losing 5-3 to the Braves. You've got to see that as a plus. Obviously, the win against the Brewers was a great win. The Astros game, we will
Yeah, the Astros
not
game.
talk about.
No, and that's actually, as it is skied high and looks like it's just fair. So you're right. The Astros game was not a pretty game, but we were in it with the Braves, I think, and we were obviously Jimmy pitched well against the Brewers. So we're doing okay, I think, but we need a couple wins today to stay in the hunt. Because the Yankees have turned it on today. They started the day, I believe, 1-3, and they might. Do you know what the Yankees have done today yet, Sam?
They've won everything so far.
So they're 2-0 or 3-0 today.
I think they're 2-0, so 3-3 now. I think.
So that puts them at 3-3.
They could be at 4-3, and I may have misspoke.
It's all right. We're all
I know they have 5
speculating.
games today.
It's hard to keep track of everything. We play so many games real quickly.
You're right, Brendan. It's going to be a fantastic showing here by these two teams. The Brewers and the Yankees are quite a matchup coming up for this standings, and I know for the Glendale Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram division, this could decide the division winner for sure.
Absolutely. Radio voice. We agree. This is a big matchup for these two teams. I mean, you have the Twins, who now have lost to the Brewers.
Jacko.
Not sure
Sorry.
if they've played the second game yet, but that's big for the Brewers head-to-head, and I think the Yankees have played the Twins as well.
Yep.
I'm going to ask that as a question because I'm not sure.
Turns out I have no idea how to spell Gus, so hopefully I just casted a ballot for him for the All-Star game.
How would you think?
G-U-S-S, is that correct? That does not
That's
seem
like
right.
that's like Russ. You're thinking Russ, but with the G, but it's G-U-S.
We'll have to get our statisticians to check on that for us.
Yeah.
We will have to get back to you guys.
Let's call down to the truck and see if they've got any stats. You want to scoot up and be in the shade?
Yes, I do.
I got a little bit sunburned yesterday.
Did you?
Yes, I did. It was not great, but feeling okay.
Peter draws a walk there. Great hitter's eye from Peter Light. He really is just an on-base machine.
He has been. He has been throughout his career. He's been one of the more prolific hitters in the SWBL history.
He may be sporting a new hat today. I don't know if I've seen that before. I'm really liking the all-white look from Peter from the Brewers. I haven't seen any Brewers
Ooh.
with.
Peter runs into some bad luck there. It takes a bad hop on him and hits him up in the man region. So unfortunately he's out, but you're right. I do like the all-white look. The white jerseys look very
sharp.
slim.
You've got to
Slim
think
hands.
that they ordered some Tide to go with those after a long day on the diamond. You've got to think those dirt stains are going to be rough to get out.
Yeah, them and the Yankees probably support the Tide products quite a bit.
It's almost, you may think that they almost be like a one-time wear type of jersey where you just have to discard them after the
Yeah,
day.
one-time use, and then actually they're sold on eBay, player worn jerseys.
Correct.
You think anyone would bid if we decided to post a game worn jersey from the MVP or something?
Yeah, your mom.
Yeah, probably the moms would pay maybe like $10.
Yes, you wouldn't. I would not think those would be a high-priced item.
It's not like it's LeBron James sweat. It's a Peter Light sweat. It's a Brett Spencer sweat
Oh,
jersey.
you continue.
As that is hit toward the bucket.
Way deep.
And
Only a few feet away from hitting that bucket.
Germer, you missed it earlier. Scott Poley crushed one to left field earlier. Missed the bucket by about a foot.
Oh. And Peter, back-to-back home runs, and the Brewers are really laying it on thick here on the Yankees.
You got to think the Yankees are a little surprised. They are
3 in a row.
They are throwing Jackson, who's their number one. They are really hoping for this game.
And it looks like the Brewers may be single-handedly making him their number 2 instead with this performance we have here. Oh my.
Stay tuned. Go 3. No, you're up.
Back to back to back to back.
You do not see that very often. That happens once or twice a year, maybe.
And it looks like they just run Jackson off the mound.
Yeah, unfortunately that'll remove Jackson, and Scott's going to come in for relief, as the Brewers seem to have his number this morning. I guess this afternoon. Wow.
So what is the stickers that Poley has all over himself, mostly on his arm?
Sam and I talked about that a little earlier. We're unsure if that's some sort of fashion statement, as Kyle makes it 5 homers in a row for the Brewers, from what we're aware of. It looks like a fashion statement, but I believe it's supposed to condense the muscles in a way.
Condense the muscles.
Like, it's sort of like a compression sleeve in a tape form.
Interesting. It almost looks as if those sticky mice traps, it almost looks like he rolled on one of those and it got stuck to his arm.
Just right down the arm. Yeah, I agree. And as you see Kevin over there, the hopeful Hall of Famer, him and you made a amazing video. People have been talking about it. People are very excited because I think it was hilarious, as that goes through the legs of Jackson.
Oh!
And it was very close at
play
first.
there at first.
It seemed like he was safe by a millisecond. But that's a tough play there too. I was hit hard. But going back to the video that you guys made.
Yes.
What do you walk us through that? How'd that all happen?
So, the way it happened was we've been talking about this Hall of Fame bid for Kevin Tucker, and clearly he deserves to make the Hall of Fame. In the front office, it almost seems as if they've been trying to sabotage him. So we decided to make a video on Friday at around 6 o'clock. It took about 30 minutes to make. And Kevin wrote out a script, and he had a little bit of trouble remembering the lines. Obviously, we know that Kevin may not be the sharpest guy in the league when it comes to brain capacity. but he did make it through it, and I was able to splice them together. I downloaded a free app on my iPad, and it turns out with technology these days, you can really just about do anything. And we were able to put that campaign video together, and it seems like it's doing the job, getting a lot of buzz going around his Hall of Fame bid this year.
I agree. He seems like one of the favorites for the Hall of Fame race, Hall of Fame vote this year, and I know he's campaigned hard. He's made campaign videos now, and he's made campaign signs that you can see out in left field and behind the plate.
So, his girlfriend is actually his campaign manager. You see most campaigns these days kind of have a catchy slogan. Vote Wheat Tucker just doesn't seem to be it for me. Probably could have came up with something better than that.
I would agree. It's not something that gets stuck in your head. Vote Weed Tucker. I mean, you got to rhyme. I feel like a campaign needs a rhyme. People remember rhyming.
This is true. I know he was wanting to make the Hall of Fame great again, which seemed to be a little controversial, and so that was nixed, I believe. But really, no campaign slogans coming out of his campaign team, which includes one person, and that is his girlfriend.
Yeah, and it seems like his girlfriend is his campaign manager, and they outsourced their campaign video to Germer Productions 2020.
Correct. That is correct.
So that puts Kevin Poley up, who has had a good day so far. And I'm sorry, but it's hard to read the scoreboard, so I'm not quite sure. But he grounds it to Peter, and
another nice play by Peter. So has Peter Light ever won a Gold Mitts Award? You've got to think
he's had a
one of the best
couple.
players in the league.
Yeah, he has been pretty dominant in the field the past few years. He had a error this morning.
Wow, really?
And I think he had one yesterday. So
Wow.
it's unfortunate that it's just, an error or two can kind of cost you. Not sure if Metter has one or BK, of course, but I guess we'll see. But Peter was in talks for the left fielder Gold Hands. He was pre-ranked, I believe, number 3.
Okay, so...
Or Paul Castellano. One of those two guys were way up there in the pre-rankings.
Now you can make up for the errors with some very good plays, and there's a home run very deep
Over the bucket.
over
Way
the bucket,
over the bucket.
and clips the pesky pine tree in the
Jackson,
very back.
talk us through that hit. What did you think?
What
what
did you
we-
see
See-ball,
there?
hit ball.
See-ball, hit ball? All right, I like it. As you'll see, Scott then pushes it to right center for a single.
And it looks like the Yankees may have a little bit of a rally going here. Unlike other teams, the Yankees can hit themselves back into a game with their average and their power.
You're very right. And Jackson has been, he's been on their bench the past few years with Callaway playing a lot, but he has the most home runs in the Yankees this year.
Oh, really? Is that
Yes,
so?
that is very so.
No tree.
No tree.
And PG with a nice play in foul territory. You've got to think in previous years that he may have been interfered with the fans down the line there, but due to not having fans here this year, he was able to make that play.
Yeah, and Sam and the SWBL front office had the tree trimmed by Hawks Nest Tree Care. And I think everyone's a little bit happier that now you can catch a foul ball over here and it's an out, or you can hit one down the line and still get a home run. Because I know at least Blake was having quite the trouble with those trees in the past.
Well, yes. I mean, and obviously it's fairly easy to get in Blake's head. Something such as a tree can get into Blake's head and distract him from focusing on the game. It's like when a 5-year-old, and that's another home run there for the Brewers.
And PG has been I would say probably the Brewers MVP.
Oh,
As
what a
Jackson
play!
makes a great diving play.
What a play from Jackson. And so the next game is the Expos, is that correct? The Expos and the Yankees?
I believe there is one but no, you're right. We're a 2:15 game. Yeah, so the Expos play next, and we play the Yankees. That is their last game of the day, and our first.
Oh,
As he's safe.
looks
He's
safe there.
getting down the line pretty quick.
Pulley got off that mound fairly quickly. You got to think no one's going to be able to make that play if Pulley's not going to make that one.
Yeah. Pulley seems to get things. He takes a step towards home. He's basically halfway there.
Looks like you may be throwing a bit of a Eufus pitch here.
Yeah, he's been known for his knuckleball, but we have not seen that as much this year. I feel like we've seen a little bit more of the little underhand, little curveball thing.
The underhand curveball thing is what he calls it. That is official term from Pulley.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, and he almost gets him there. Great batter's eye.
Holding it, Brett?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He's asking if I was holding it.
Oh.
That angle? People told you not to?
I wanted him to be able to hear both of us better, and then they were talking a little bit, so I wanted to move it.
You guys can walk wherever you want.
Your mic's still on. Your
Wait,
mic's
Yeah,
still
I
on.
know.
We're getting a
Can't
little.
leave the phone.
We're getting a little criticism from the
Commissioner
slash TV director.
slash radio voice slash
Correct.
statistician.
Correct. Sam Skibby.
Yeah, he seems to be having a little bit of a problem with our holding of the GoPro.
Oh.
But
Oh.
actually,
Just a bit short there from PG.
we actually just picked it up because wanted to be able to hear Germer and myself as well. And there's some other talkers that we wanted to drown out. So, but we can walk around, although we have to stay near Sam's phone, so I'll probably just stay here.
It seems to be a little bit warmer today than it was yesterday. It looks like Peter is really having a sweat party on the mound there. How many glasses of water do you think he goes through a day?
I mean, I don't know how much water he drinks this weekend. I don't know if I've ever seen him without a beer in his hand.
Well, there is water in beer, is that correct?
Good point. So, I don't know. How many beers does it take for like 12 ounces of water?
Let's
Who
go
knows?
with 5 beers is 1 cup of water,
Okay.
but that doesn't seem right, but we'll go with that. So Peter's had 10 cups of water today.
As Jackson does it
hits another
again.
And what is that, 5-12 is the score?
Let's ask Jackson. Jackson, what is the score now?
12-6, I think.
12-6, all right.
Liner off the wall. Pulley missed a home run there by about 6.5 inches. He has been working on his hitting angle. What do we call
Launch angle.
launch angle? That's correct. I was at a loss of words there for the correct terminology. Oh. Couple Expos.
As the Expos roll
Showed
in, ready to go.
Been close, and
We are
Jimmy Nelson.
watching the Brewers pitch to the Yankees right now in the, I believe it's the 4th
Yeah, the
inning.
Brewers had a hard time scoring against Expos, if I can remember correctly.
And there's Expos, very humble Jimmy Nelson, who gets a brag in there. Obviously, he was on the mound against the Brewers.
And he had a great game against the Brewers. It was one of the more impressive wins of the year considering the Brewers' hot start. And then Jimmy came in and did shut him down. But unfortunately, against the Astros, it was a different story.
Very different story. It was a nightmare for Jimmy out there. You've got to wonder, getting late in the day, if that possibly had an effect on his ability to play wiffle ball as well as make any coordinated movements whatsoever and have any rational thoughts in his head, really.
Yeah, it probably, at the end of the day, it gets in the way of trying to be a functioning person. So, we're thankful that Jimmy is here this morning and ready to go sober for a while, and we'll see how things play out.
Looks like Peter steps up again.
And we do believe it's 12-6.
It looks to be 12-6. There's 19 minutes and 29 seconds left in the game.
I'm sorry, it's hard to see the scoreboard from over here, so we can assume that it's 12-6 in the fourth.
I mean, ever since Coley's gotten in, the Brewers have really slowed down quite a bit at the plate, not come up with much offensive production. And as I say that,
right, as you say it, but you were right though. Scott had a few batters in a row ground back to him, so he came in and did what he needed to do. But I think the Brewers may be starting to adjust.
So there seems to be a lot of very even teams this year. You see the Yankees lose to the Rockies. Have really turned it on, but it's almost like the Braves stand out as being an upper echelon team, but you see a team like the Brewers that have had some very good wins, had some not great losses as well.
Yeah, it seems like you're right. There's a lot of teams that are in the mix. It's other than the Marlins, everyone has wins and everyone has losses. So it's what? You like that? You like that? Everyone has at least one loss. Either way, you're right. Everyone, it's a close race with the Yankees already losing 3. The Brewers, they've lost. I believe they've lost 2 or 3. Rockies have lost 2 or 3. So everyone's looking pretty tight here.
And what would be the tiebreaker?
Oh! As Peter touches the ball and Kevin goes up and over him.
Almost had a little bit of a collision there.
He's a little shook up.
And it looks like the medical staff may be coming out. Was that intentional, you think, by Peter to try to hurt him in order to knock him out for the rest of the season?
Peter is known as the villain of the league. Not many people enjoy his presence around the field. He just sticks around because he's John's younger brother.
That is correct. And you've got to wonder a little bit of a risk there, putting your face in front of his foot, thinking that he may try to avoid it and hurt himself. That could have not paid off if he would have stepped on his face.
You're exactly right.
A little bit of a risk there from Peter.
Peter went all out, and in the end, it does not matter for that batter because that was one out.
And this is the 4th inning.
We're under the assumption it is, but either way, it's getting toward the end as Scott Poley goes deep.
I think if that tree's not there, that would have been 2 neighborhoods over.
He launches them. I don't know. There's a few guys in the league that can hit like Scott can, and it's like Scott, maybe Gus. There's a few, I don't know. It's hard to picture someone that can hit the ball harder than
nice play there
than Scott.
PG's really on with those foul balls, and it may be standing out to me only because they're happening directly in front of us.
We have a good view. Yeah, you're right, and it seems to catch our attention. As we're gonna ask Jackson. Jackson, what's the score in the inning?
8-13. So it looks like this lead is
13-8.
looks like the Yankees are
Top 5.
closing
All right.
the gap.
Thank
here.
you.
Top 5.
So, yeah, 13-8, top 5.
Gotta think PG's probably gonna knock one over the fence here yet again.
He has been a menace at the plate this year. He's hard to stop.
one of the absolute best players in the league on the mound and at the plate. It seems that other players may be getting annoyed with having to watch him hit home runs all the time, and it just never stops.
Ooh, that was a
A
knuckler.
little bit of a squibber there.
Way to stick with it, Scott.
Right off the, it was a pool cue shot.
That is correct. It looked like when you try to put backspin on it to set up your next shot, maybe knock the 8-ball in the far corner is what it looked like PG was doing there. But it does not really make sense as a strategy in wiffle ball because there is no next shot if you get out there.
You're so right. I mean, that's just a great analogy, and everyone should like think about it and just reflect for a little bit. Because I agree that you only get one shot at the swing, otherwise you're out. As that brings Peter up with one out in the top of the fifth, and he cuts one over this way. So we talked a little bit about Andy Oldenburg, leaving. He had a good day yesterday. As Pete goes deep.
A little bit of a power surge there from Peter. You don't really see the towering home runs from Peter. He's more of a line drive type of hitter.
You're right. He always has been kind of a push hitter, so to speak. Kind of line drive right there as Derek goes deep too.
And so, back to Andy. What were you?
So we had Andy yesterday. We kind of thought he'd be back today, but he batted pretty decently. He hit the ball hard, and other than that one that he got thrown out at first when he hit the fence on a home run, or so he thought was a home run, he did pretty decent for his 4 or 5 at bats.
Yes, and the Expos cut him after he didn't run out that ground ball just to make a statement. Kevin Wheat-Tugger is all about hustle, obviously, and he wanted to send a message to the rest of his team that if you don't run out a ball, you're going to get cut.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about that he had to go back to Columbia or do other stuff for work on Monday. It's he didn't hustle. He gets out of there. He goes home.
So do we know who came up with the blur signage over there? Who made that? That looks like something that would have possibly come from the Polies, but that's just a guess.
Interesting. So Kyle walks there, Peach comes up, and the blur sign, we actually found an old scoreboard 15 years ago with the right number of innings, five innings in it. It was broken scoreboard, and recently